Welcome to Philosophy 209, Aristotle to Plotinus, or Late Greek Philosophy, brought to you by STM College, University of Saskatchewan, for 2021. My name is Steve Cavan, and I look forward to meeting all of you personally at some point this term, although it will be virtually or remotely. The personal connections, meetings face to face, these discussions that happen across a table between people, lies at the heart of philosophy. Probably showing my ancient Greek roots here. But the remote format of this class means that this kind of interaction is not possible. In a normal classroom, I would ask you questions. I could poke you, I could prod you for engagement. I can't do that here. You have to step up and engage with the material yourself. Ask questions. Ask me, ask other students. Think about it. Consider it. I will be offering a variety of avenues to help you engage in discussions. Of course, there will be private meetings with me. I'm available for office meetings, office hours. But I will also be doing asynchronous group discussions on Canvas and in other sources. I will also offer some opportunities for synchronous discussions, either through Zoom or Skype or WebEx or Teams, some format platform. The synchronous discussions are not mandatory, they're optional. I might introduce a topic and give someone a heads up that we'll talk about this topic in particular, but I want that time, that space, also to be open as a normal classroom for general discussions and new ideas. I will try to record those sessions for people who can't make it, for example. There will be a number of asynchronous discussion boards that which I mentioned here, and again, participation is optional. I might pop into those occasionally from time to time, throw in comments, especially if I think there's something that needs to be said. But I don't plan on making it a major part of my activities. So that's really what you need to bring to the course. You need to engage with other students, engage with material, step up and take an active role. So you might then think, okay, what do I bring to the class? And this is the major change. I normally walk into a classroom and I can talk. I can talk for an hour and a half. I can talk for 3 hours. 3 hours a week. So how do I replace 3 hours of in-person lecturing in this kind of remote format? Yeah, I could make a 3-hour video. I could do this. People do, and I know some people do. But yeah, no, that's just wacko. I can't imagine anyone watching a 3-hour lecture video or 3 1-hour lectures, or even 20 minutes is really pushing it for me. Maybe I'm showing my bias on YouTube. And there are times when I even wonder how anyone can endure 3 hours of just listening to me talk about something. I will be doing some short videos. They'll be sporadic. I haven't decided just how many and which topics I'll cover, but my videos will aim to be short, 10 to 15 minutes maybe. And there are a number of reasons for this. Generating videos takes an enormous amount of work. I don't know, you might not have thought of this. I don't know how many of you have try to do videos, but writing a script, delivering that script in front, like as I am now, can take many takes. Once you've got it recorded, I need to open up an editor, do the editing, fix it, adjust balances, cut, splice. It takes a lot of work to finish that, to edit the video, and then of course upload it to YouTube. I can spend days on these things. I'll also be doing podcasts. They're easier to produce and easier to put out, although even there, podcasts take a surprising amount of time and prep time. It's the scripting, really. I spend hours doing a very short 10-minute podcast. So, yeah, I'll be doing podcasts that you can listen to at your leisure. Some videos, but for the videos, of course, you're tied to a computer or a phone with internet access. And I guess lastly will come the weekly discussions that will happen inside asynchronous discussion boards. I'll post some things, maybe some thoughts, and yeah, even inside the discussions that are synchronous, do the same thing. So don't hesitate to contact me about ideas that you have, or problems, questions. I'll either answer them directly or save them, reserve them for a weekly discussion post. About my teaching style, as you probably know, philosophy is not so much about facts and set ideas as it is about expressing ideas, challenging ideas, interpreting other thinkers. And I will tell you what I think a philosopher is saying, but don't take my word for it. You can read other books, read other videos, watch other videos, think about it, read the article. In the end, you need to think about the text and ask if it makes sense. Does my interpretation make sense? Does someone else's interpretation make sense? Does your interpretation make sense? If you think they're saying this, make sure it's consistent with other things they're saying, generally. So take my words with caution. Or I'd like to say, I like to invoke the classical expression, take my words cum grano salis, with a grain of salt. Take everyone's word with a grain of salt. That's really doing philosophy. Bear in mind as well that most philosophers present their material which offers multiple interpretations. Many great writers do this too. If you read the plays of Euripides, is he a solid atheist, or is he asking us to be religious? There are people who see it both ways. You need to read it and think about it yourself. And I know that if I say Aristotle thinks X, there's almost certain to be someone out there that says, no, he doesn't think X, he thinks Y. I'm okay with this. I've done enough philosophy to know that's the nature of philosophy. If you can, in fact, change the way I think about a philosopher, you'll probably do very well in this course. But I don't expect you to just throw back at me what I say. Try to think about things in your own way. I suggest in the first instance that you try as best as you can to see the world through that philosopher's eyes. And to that end, I try to present their ideas in the most positive light I can. Even when I disagree with them, I want to hide my disagreements. And this approach is based on my experiences as a student, largely, and as a teacher, but mostly as a student, as an undergraduate. I had some professors who would begin a course by saying this philosopher is really stupid, and they would outline the reasons why, and then I was left with wondering, why should I even bother reading them if they're that stupid? And this happened several times. It's one of the reasons I didn't do Plato until graduate school. But after a while I thought, wait a second, Plato, Aristotle, Kant, Spinoza, these thinkers have been regarded generally as being some of the greatest minds that have ever walked the earth. They're brilliant. They are brilliant people. And why is this professor spending all this time telling me how stupid they all were? And it seemed to me that he's just saying, look, they're stupid. I'm smarter than all of the smartest people that have ever existed. No, I don't think so. I really doubt it. And it strikes me as a case of hubris, the Greek word hubris. If you don't know hubris or Greek terms, let me know. Ask me sometime. So, the approach that I take, that I ask you to take, really dawned on me in my 4th year. I was an honors student, working on Kant's Critique of Pure Reason. It was a full year course, 8 months, just reading that one philosophical work. Arguably the most important philosophical work ever written, Kant's Critique of Pure Reason. Put it on your bucket list of things to tackle at some point. And at some point in that course, it was in the winter, I suddenly saw the world, I think, through Kant's eyes. I said, this is it. This is brilliant. This is amazing. And so, as I say, I'm walking in his shoes, thinking, amazing. He's got this deep understanding of the human mind. But after a few months of walking around in his shoes, I'll continue with my analogy, they started to pinch my toes. And when it came by the end of the course, there were some things that I did not really like about Kant's Critique of Pure Reason, and I wrote a killer essay. But it was clear that I knew Kant very deeply, and so it was it worked. If you read a great thinker and think, well, that's just stupid, I always step back and think, wait a second here, who's stupid? Is it me? Or have I missed something big time here? It's not likely that these people are just stupid. So try to take a positive approach, understand them as best you can, and then be critical. You can be critical, develop your criticism. Now, this course will begin with Aristotle. He starts the course and he consumes the greatest chunk of time, probably half the course, in fact, will be Aristotle. But I think, given his importance in the history of philosophy, which carries forward even today, the allocation of time is justified. I'm amazed. The impact of Aristotle it really is breathtaking. Although, again, I'm a Platonist, but modern communication theory still talks about him. He comes up. People are doing papers on Aristotle all the time. But after Aristotle, I want to look at some of the Hellenistic schools, in particular Epicureanism of Lucretius. One of my favorite reads. It's a beautiful book to read. I read it in Latin in graduate school, and it's a good book to read. And we'll look at Stoicism, and I will cover some of the lesser known Hellenistic schools probably in group meetings or chat meetings or maybe a little podcast, I don't know. And then finally, we'll wrap things up with Plotinus, who argues that he is the representation of real Platonism. He's bringing us the insights of Plato. Maybe, maybe not. Now, I know there are no prerequisites for this course, but it will become obvious, I think, pretty fast, that Plato looms large. If you've never read Plato, you've never studied Plato, if you've never heard of Plato's theory of forms or his theory of ideas, you might want to have a quick look at that. But we can also review Plato in class discussions. I'll try to talk about the differences between Plato and Aristotle when they become crucial. I'll touch on these ideas. So that's really all I have to say right now. I look forward to meeting everyone soon. Cheers.